Bienvenidos a John Mon Games. Hoy os traigo The Raven Remastered. Empezamos.
The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place. Hey, Harold, have you read this? Harold? 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 You hear me? This is no time for fun and games.
Shh! Calm down. I'm a copper. We're on the same side.
A copper? What are you doing here? And where's Harold?
Harold? Well, there's another guard back there unconscious. That's probably him. The Eye of the Sphinx. Where is it?
It's there.
Oh, good. Then he hasn't got it yet.
You mean the Raven's heir?
Shh! Turn it off. He's gonna steal the eye.
But how do you know?
Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we catch him. Do you understand?
Yeah, but...
Do you understand? You and me, mate, we'll be heroes. All right, now, we just have to...
What?
Halt! Stop! You're under arrest!
Hands up!
I don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
You're funny. But you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Disturbing a Swiss officer while he reads a crime novel is a very serious offense. I could arrest you.
But I have a pistol, and you don't.
Where in the world is it so dangerous that I'd need a pistol? And who might you be?
My name is Matthew Miller,
And where are you from, Matthew Miller?
from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. But my mom and I live in England now. She's taking care of some rich old lady. We're on our way to Venice at the moment. We're taking a cruise on a big ship.
Impressive. You've already seen half the world. I've spent my entire life in Switzerland.
Must be really boring.
And what's with the gun? What do you need it for?
It's the Raven. He was gunned down, so now I need a pistol.
Dead birds don't need guns. Nor do live ones.
You don't know who the Raven is, do you? He's the greatest burglar ever. He stole paintings from the Louvre, and those priceless eggs with gold and diamonds and stuff. And Bobby Dobbs says he replaced the crown jewels with rhinestones.
I know who the Raven was. Although I don't quite buy that bit about the crown jewels. You do know these days there are thieves far more dangerous than your old Raven. 2 days ago, a precious ruby was stolen from the British Museum. There was an explosion. A guard was severely injured.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what the papers say?
You talk too much, Constable.
Zellner, monsieur. Anton Jakob Zellner.
Or did he pull a gun on you?
No, monsieur.
Get a move on.
Inspector Legrand, it's a great honor to work with a celebrity like you.
We appreciate the support of the Swiss police, but it'd be better if you'd remain seated and keep an eye on things.
But, monsieur, surely I can be of assistance, somehow. I saw a safe being loaded.
We have everything under control. If you'll excuse me, I'll be in the first freight car at the back of the train for the rest of the trip.
I'm not here to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I am a good observer, and I have finely honed powers of deduction.
Thanks to that?
I watched the people on the platform in Zurich. I know, for example, that man over there is a violinist.
That would be more impressive if there weren't a violin case next to him.
And I believe that the gentleman in the next carriage is a German doctor on his way to Italy to take up a new position.
And what gives you that idea?
There's the rod of Asclepius engraved on his cufflink. And he's carrying a German-Italian dictionary.
Maybe he's just taking a holiday in Italy, following in Goethe's footsteps.
Too much luggage. And no, he's not retiring to Italy either. The suitcases are too shabby for me to believe that he can afford to retire in his late 50s.
All right then, Constable...
Zellner.
Constable Zellner. If you're such a clever fellow, what am I doing on this train?
I think you're guarding something.
Oh, really? And what might it be?
I really couldn't say. But it must be very important.
Why is that?
Because you are very important. They wouldn't have assigned the case to you if it were just a trifle.
Let's assume that we really are transporting something very important on this train. And let's assume that it really is my job to see that it arrives safely. Then why isn't the train crawling with police?
It's a trap.
You've got a vivid imagination. I'll give you that. Well, that is impressive, I admit. But the fewer people involved, the better. We'll get along fine without you.
You won't.
Won't? Pardonnez-moi.
I can help. And I will help. You're in my country. And I've been ordered to assist you. And that's exactly what I'll do. Whether you like it or not.
Clever and stubborn. Your commitment speaks volumes, Zellner. But this is my show, and I don't need you. Bon voyage.
But how do you know? hello.
You cheated.
I did what?
I saw you talking to the German doctor on the platform. He told you everything himself, and you were just pretending to put two and two together.
And what of it? Do you know who that is? That's Inspector Nicholas Legrand. You have to impress him if you want to work with him.
I'm going to tell on you.
You'd really tell on me? To the very policeman who shot your dear Raven?
Whoa, it was him?
Mm-hmm. Hunted and killed Europe's most famous burglar. That's how he got his start.
I won't tell him a thing.
I wouldn't either. All right, Matthew. I have to do my work now.
Everyone calls me Matt. Well, except for my mom. She calls me Maddie, as if I were a little kid.
Whether Legrand wants my help or not, I'll keep my eyes open. Maybe I can change his mind. This morning, I thought I wouldn't be hungry because of all the excitement. Thankfully, I bought a sandwich with me anyway. The sandwich paper. That way I can carry it without making a mess of my trouser pocket. Still, I'd prefer not to have to carry them all day. The napkin came with the croissant I bought at the train station. A guilty pleasure. I don't need that either. Every table has its own wastebasket. Practical. No need to ever leave your seat. All right. Vicarage in the Mirror, a detective novel by my favorite author, Lady Clarissa Westmacott. For years now, I've been trying to convince my theater group to stage one of her plays. The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and he's traveling through the most beautiful mountain landscape in the world. One can only hope that his violin is better tuned than he. Hello, sir.
Hello.
If I'm not mistaken, you're a violinist.
That's true.
A wonderful instrument. The violin music touches the soul.
That's why I learned to play it.
Do you play in an orchestra?
No, orchestras aren't really part of my world.
A solo violinist. The best soloists travel a great deal and make a pile of money. Or so they say.
In that case, I'm probably not one of the best.
Are you traveling to Istanbul non-stop?
No. I'll transfer in Venice to a ship. I'm on my way to Cairo.
Cairo?
I'm performing at the reception in the Egyptian Museum there.
I'm sure your recital will be a great success. But tell me, did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Anything unusual?
Persons acting suspiciously, for instance.
For heaven's sake, is there cause for concern?
Everything is in order, sir. We Swiss are just very cautious people.
I understand. No, I didn't notice anything.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Very kind of you. Thanks. Oh, pardon me.
No problem. The uniform is waterproof. Mr.
Lucian. Professor Edgar Lucian.
Oh, a professor. Are you a scientist? Do you teach at the Sorbonne?
No, I work at the British Museum in London.
You don't say. So, you were, shall we say, an eyewitness to the burglary 2 days ago?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no?
There was a lot of commotion, but I didn't really pay much attention to it.
There was a break-in in your museum, and it didn't concern you?
Well, let's just say that nothing that's happened in the last 2,000 years concerns me.
Whatever you say. The famous Inspector Legrand is on this train. I imagine you know him.
No, should I?
You don't know him? And you also don't know what he's doing here?
No. Why should I?
Just a thought. You're a representative of the British Museum. There's a guarded safe on the train.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to imply. And now, please excuse me.
May I ask where you are going?
Of course. To Venice. I'm going to meet some colleagues there.
Oh, Venice. A beautiful city, or so I'm told.
Indeed. But I really have to take my leave now.
Just one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Here? On the train? No. I can't say that I have. Although I did spend most of the time in my compartment.
I don't want to take up any more of your valuable time, but you do understand, don't you, that what concerns me is the present, and especially the robbery at the museum.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's just, I'm in rather a hurry.
You'll get in touch if you notice anything unusual, won't you, Professor?
Of course, Constable. What's this?
What's the matter, sir?
The door. I can't open it.
We'll sort it out somehow. The compartment is locked.
But I didn't lock it. I don't even have a key. I asked the steward. He was going to bring me one, but he never came back.
Someone locked it.
Find the steward. He needs to bring me the key immediately.
Calm down, Professor. I'll see what I can do.
You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here. I don't believe it. I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
A pleasure. May I ask what you're doing here? Are you on holiday?
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my life.
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little girl. It became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you. I killed the old wretch off years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine. Are you traveling to Istanbul, Lady Westmacott?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there, we will take a ship to Cairo. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund a few excavations in Egypt. I traveled to Egypt by ship as a young woman. And now I'm doing it again as an old woman.
I see. As a writer, you must be very observant. Am I right? I mean, you have to study the behavior of people around you to create the characters in your novels, don't you?
I solved the mystery of human nature a long time ago, Mr. Zellner. Since then, most people just bore me.
Really? I had the impression you were eyeing me suspiciously as I came in.
What do you want to know, Constable?
Did you notice the man who just walked into the next carriage with a cup of tea?
I did. He seemed nervous. He was waiting at the bar for the steward, and since the steward never appeared, he elected to help himself. He took 2 biscuits.
He seems pretty young, but he's already a professor at the British Museum.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to him later. Just out of courtesy, of course.
Of course. Did you notice the blonde man with the violin case?
I certainly did. He introduced himself and tried to make a good impression. People like him are drawn to wealth and fame, like moths to a flame.
But his charms failed on you.
I know him by name. David Kreutzer. He was a drain on my friend's purse.
Do you think he has a money problem?
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend twice as much and complain that they have far too little.
Did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone, except for the inspector who went in the direction of the freight car a few minutes ago. Isn't that the Frenchman who made his name when he caught the raven?
I wouldn't quite say caught.
Well, shot. Why don't you ask me about him and my theory about what he's doing here?
I don't think we should discuss Inspector Legrand's investigation in public.
Legrand, right. That was his name. Will he save the day again? Or will you, Constable?
As much as I'd like to keep talking, duty calls.
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe you as you came in. You seemed so eager.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to prove myself, madam.
And this is it? Your chance?
I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big changes, as my friend Ronald likes to say.
I shall do my best. Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmacott from me, a pushy admirer. Very diligent. But she does seem a little nervous and tense. I imagine she has her work cut out for her with Matt. And a difficult boss, from what they say. Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
The little boy, Matt, he's your son?
Oh, yes. Has he done something?
No, I've already met him. Clever little fellow.
We always call him Professor because he's so precocious. If only someone could just drive the mischief out of him.
Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Oh, I'm afraid not. I was totally focused on my work.
She's always got an awful lot to do, my Mary.
You have to tell me if that's not all right with you.
Good Lord, child. Knit as much as you want.
So, nothing out of the ordinary.
No, Constable.
Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth. Maybe if I just suck it. I won't eat any just now. It would be rather embarrassing if I met Legrand and wasn't able to open my mouth because it's been stuck shut, or because I lost some teeth. I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence. The pad on which the steward writes orders, empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much to do today. I don't need the pad, but the pencil might come in handy. The steward probably uses the scissors on hard-to-open packages. These days, nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague recently told me about dry powdered soup in small bags. I couldn't believe it. I'll leave the scissors here. If I need them, I know where to find them.
Mr.
Zellner.
Right. How can I help you?
Tell me, did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or in Zurich?
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform? No. Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zellner, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. Legarde is his name, if I recall correctly.
Legrand.
If you say so. At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps just to keep an eye on cash boxes.
A cash box? Like the ones you'd find in safe deposit boxes?
Precisely. And I believe we both have a good idea just what's inside.
I do indeed have a theory, but what's yours?
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary Eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited together in Cairo for the first time in 50 years. It does make one wonder.
Indeed. Any news about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were injured.
Well, one cannot execute a robbery of that scale without collateral damage. It seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward to new and spectacular coups.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
May I borrow your newspaper?
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
You caught me out.
Here you go.
Dankeschön. There's something else. Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves and didn't bother getting back on the train. If we don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He's not here doing his job. That's bad enough.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a pleasant chat, really.
I strongly suspect that the door is locked. No, it's open. Hello? Wow.
Don't move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert. If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the Yard. This is the revered Constable Zellner of the Swiss police, who obviously couldn't control his curiosity.
Then I was right. You really do want to lure someone into a trap.
That's none of your business.
Perhaps that someone recently struck in London.
And how would I bait my trap then?
With an eye? An eye on its way from Zurich to Cairo.
Someone has done his homework. Well done, Constable.
I hope you'll acknowledge that I, as a Swiss policeman, can undertake investigations in my own country.
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train as long as you're here in the freight car.
Oh, really?
There is a certain Professor Lucien on the train. He's an archaeologist from London.
And what's his story?
Well, it seems someone locked him out of his compartment.
Locked him out?
Well, yes. The door is locked and he's standing outside without a key.
Was it locked from inside?
It may have been. Do you think the locked door could be important?
Professor Lucien plays an important role in this story. Well then, Constable Zellner, be my eyes and ears on the train and see that Professor Lucien gets back into his compartment. Report back to me when you're through.
My pleasure, monsieur. What do you know of this Raven's heir?
He tried to blow me up.
Robert, we don't know who we're dealing with yet.
In any event, the new Raven is a more dangerous man than the old one.
How do you know it's a man? It could just as easily be a woman.
Or several men.
And anyway, how do you know that it's a new Raven?
Monsieur?
Never mind.
I go attend to the door now.
Good. And, Constable Zellner?
Yes?
Don't bother us unless you have something new to report.
Of course. A thief might get anxious if there's too much activity in the freight car.
Exactement. Knock twice. Then we'll know that it's you.
Understood. An investigation on behalf of Legrand that takes me one step closer. If I can convince him of my competence, I might even be able to see this case through to the end. A box with a padlock. I suppose it contains tools for the train's crew, maybe for coupling and uncoupling the cars. At any rate, it's positioned so that it's easier to reach from the ground than from up here. Locked.
Bang, bang!
Huh?
Don't move!
Mad? Have you gone mad?
I'll shoot! Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a ghost.
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too. One just flew past the window.
Yes, sure. Now get moving.
Oh, man.
The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be able to open it without a key. I'd better let him read his newspaper if I don't have any pressing questions. Let's see if there's any news. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx, one of two priceless jewels, extraordinary pure ruby, 2000 BC, etc., etc. Old news. And here, shocking burglary. Professional thieves surprised by museum guard Charles Langley and Constable Robert Oliver of Scotland Yard. Explosion, Constable Robert Oliver from Scotland Yard. He was there when the first eye was stolen. Now he's guarding the second one. Luna's Drops, the calming herbal liqueur for women. A glass a day. It relaxes the nerves and maintains domestic tranquility. Luna's Drops, if you don't want to bother your husband. A story about the upcoming Oscars and Cleopatra's chances of winning. An incredible feat. They built the largest movie set of all time in Rome. And because of the main actress's many illnesses, several changes of director and months of delays, cost shot to over $40 million. The most expensive movie ever made. A record never to be broken. John Surtees won the Formula One World Championship for the first time on Saturday. He also won the World Championship in motorcycle racing from 1956 to 1960, making him the only man in motorsports to win world championships in both motorcycle and Formula One events. Not really my cup of tea. Too loud, too fast, too much exhaust.
Constable?
Yes, ma'am.
My son didn't make any trouble for you, I hope. It's just that he just walked past us, silent and seething. That's usually a sign that someone's laid down the law.
I'm afraid so. He played a trick on me, a rather dangerous one. The lad left me no choice but to take away his wooden pistol as a punishment.
I understand. And thank you. Maddie is a very lively child. Sometimes he needs a strong fatherly hand.
Where is Matt's father, if I may ask?
He's gone.
Ah, I understand.
Could you, leave Maddie's pistol here, perhaps? So you don't have to bother with it?
Of course. I told him he wouldn't get it back until Venice.
Very well. Thank you again, Constable.
I think it's uncomfortable for her when I talk to her in front of Lady Westmacott. She seems to take it as an inappropriate distraction from her work, although she's just knitting. Taking up a craft like that is typical of women who were told as little girls that idleness is a sin. I think it's uncomfortable for her when I talk to her in front of Lady Westmacott. She seems to take it as an inappropriate distraction from her work, although she's just... He doesn't make a very balanced impression, and he of all people isn't bothered by a robbery in his own museum. Hello, Matt. Oh, come on. Are you going to be angry with me for the rest of the trip?
Until I get my pistol back.
I gave it to your mother.
Oh, man. Couldn't you have just raked me over the coals?
Would you have learned anything from that?
I didn't learn anything from this either.
Come on, Matt. Did you really think that you can ignore me for longer than I can ignore you? I'm Swiss. It's practically a national sport. Would you like a butterscotch?
You think you can bribe me?
I have no reason to. You made trouble and got punished for it. Take it as a peace offering.
Just 4?
If I'm faster than you, there'll only be 3.
Hey!
Friends again?
Mm-hmm.
All right then. And no dangerous nonsense anymore.
Okay.
Your mother is Lady Westmacott's companion, correct?
Yeah, but it's not like you think. At first I thought, boy, you must be really wicked if you need to pay for friends. But the lady's really okay. A bit odd and really old. But other than that, she's great. She likes me.
The lady has peculiar taste.
Hey!
You and your mother, do you both live on Lady Westmacott's estate?
I'm only there for the holidays. Most of the time I'm at boarding school.
I imagine that's not very pleasant.
No, it's fine. I have friends there. You always have to be so quiet in the lady's house. And I'm not allowed to bring any friends.
Such a big house with so many places to hide. And no one to play hide and seek with.
You said it.
And how long has your mother worked for the lady?
2 years.
And your father? What does he do?
He stayed home. I used to go fishing with him, and hunting. He even let me shoot a real gun.
And then?
Then Mom fought with him, and he left. I was 7.
Oh, and how old are you now?
In 8 months, I'll be 9 years old.
And do you already know what you want to be when you grow up? A burglar?
No, we'll see. Maybe an actor.
Really? Well, I don't know. You need a lot of talent for that. I'm an actor in a theater group, you know?
You are?
Oh, yes. And I'm one of the best in our group, if I may say so. I get really deep into my roles, you know? I don't just talk like the character. I think like him. I become him. It's the only way to... Matt, are you okay?
I think you just have to be good at copying things to be an actor.
That wasn't bad. Disturbing, but not bad. Tell me, have you seen the steward anywhere?
No. He was walking around a little while ago, though.
Hopefully they didn't forget him in Zurich.
What's he supposed to do?
I'm looking for a key to open a compartment door.
Did you check his things behind the counter?
I'm sure the drawers will be locked.
Can't you break it open? Or pick the lock like the Raven?
Perhaps. But I'd need a piece of wire or something like that.
Ask my mom. She has a lot of hairpins. She doesn't like the wind messing up her hair.
Thanks for the tip. So long.
So longer.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Please excuse my unusual request, but Matt said you have some hairpins. Could I borrow one?
One of my hairpins?
It's a long story. It would be a big help.
Well, if you really need one.
Go ahead, Mary. The constable won't do it any harm. Will you, Mr. Zellner?
Of course not, madam.
Is this one okay?
It'll do nicely, madam. How very kind of you. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock. And suddenly, it's me who's the thief on the train. Whoops, that was easier than expected. Batteries, a toothbrush, shaving brush, but not the key to the compartment door. Just this one. Too small for the door, but it might still be useful. A key to a padlock. I'm sure of that. It's not the first time I've held one. There we go. This should help. My grandfather was a blacksmith. When I was a child, I used to play with tongs and hammers in his workshop. My mother never cared for that. She was always worried about my little fingers, but I never hurt myself seriously. I'm quite clever with tools. I have everything I need. I I bet I could really get a grip on the bolt with these.
Well, come on then, hurry up.
Hello?
I barely left the window ajar.
Nothing to see.
Ah.
Are you okay?
Yes, fine.
Do you have any idea why the door was locked?
I don't know. Maybe the constant vibrations caused the lock to lock itself.
You can't possibly believe that.
Well, then what's your theory?
The conductor could have locked it from the outside. On the other hand, it could have been someone here in the compartment who locked the door from the inside.
Who? And where have they gone?
They could have climbed out there.
Who would be that insane?
You tell me, Professor. So, what are you hiding in your bag? What do you have that would be worth stealing?
No, nothing.
No valuables?
Certainly not. Not on my salary.
It was enough for a first-class compartment on a luxury train.
That's my business.
You're playing a dangerous game, Professor Lucien. I'd like to look around a bit.
Of course.
Very nice fountain pen. Pricey.
If you'd managed to decode hieroglyphics that boggled the best minds of the last 3,000 years, you'd have received a gift like that as well.
I really wonder what the professor is hiding from me. But I can't just rifle through the luggage of innocent citizens. This is the 60s. The Bible? Grimm's fairy tales, Moby Dick, and gin, whiskey, and rum. All classics. Assuming there really was someone in the compartment, and he climbed out the window, where's he gone? Did the burglar leave any clues? Here's something. Might be fingerprints. No, nothing interesting. Professor Lucien?
Yes?
Oh, nothing.
Well, good.
Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye.
Pardon me, sir.
We could have used you a few minutes ago. I'll leave the scissors here. If I need them... When I scratch the pencil's lead with the scissors, I get fine graphite powder. I won't get a Nobel Prize for the idea, but graphite powder will bring out fingerprints at a pinch. Who'd have thought that one day butterscotch would remind me of my age and of all the things I had to leave behind? Inspector Legrand?
Anything to report?
I got Professor Lucien into his compartment using a pair of pliers.
Did you notice anything inside the compartment?
The window was open. Someone could have climbed out.
And the professor?
Acted suspiciously. He rummaged around in his leather bag.
And?
He seemed to have found what he was searching for.
Good. Good work.
Now, perhaps you could give me some information.
All right. We should...
What? The light's gone out.
Flashlights! Ah! Get off me!
There, sir. An envelope.
My dear Nico, you should take a closer look at the box. R.
What the dickens? It's a...
Away with it! Take cover!
Oh dear. Oh.
Is everyone all right? Are you hurt? Quick thinking. Well done, Zellner.
I think the tunnel collapsed.
Then he's trapped. Hurry, we have to lock the second exit.
Sir, there's a fire up ahead. The engine's burning.
It's a distraction. Hurry, block the exit.
But sir...
The fire will consume all the oxygen.
He's right, Inspector. A fire in a narrow tunnel is extremely dangerous.
Merde! Go to the front of the train, find the engineer, and tell him to move the train out of the tunnel.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? You have to uncouple the freight car. You understand?
I understand.
I'll see to the passengers. They should all wait in the tunnel. We'll check each one in turn as they go out.
Let's get to it. A lot was damaged by the sudden stop, but the bowl was thick enough to survive the fall. Whiskey, scotch, rum, liqueurs, enough to entertain everyone on the train all the way from Paris to Istanbul. High-proof rum could be useful. My God, what a fire. I hope Constable Oliver can at least reach the engine. Rum from Austria. The last of the candy has vanished. Measured against the exploding freight car, I think the railway will overlook the loss. The last of the candy has vanished. Measured against the... The wheels came off the track during the explosion. Even if it were possible to pull the car out of the rubble, you wouldn't get far with it. I'm sure I could uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing.
Pardon me, I did not mean to scare you.
What are you doing here, Doctor?
Legrand asked me to check whether there are any passengers left on the train.
Really? No one is here, except for me and you.
Excellent. Then I will continue searching at the front.
Did anyone act suspiciously before the explosion? Did anyone leave their seat, for example?
I was the only one on the train who wasn't seated when the freight car exploded. Thank God. Otherwise, I would have been caught by the blast as well.
You certainly were lucky.
Perhaps I was. What happened over there? The inspector said something about gas canisters that exploded.
He didn't want to scare you. The truth is, it was a bomb meant to kill him and the Bobby.
My God. An attack? But who would...
The investigations are ongoing, but first we have to get the burning train out of the tunnel.
Oh, of course.
How are the passengers?
They are in a state of shock, of course. The blackout and the sudden stop were frightening enough, but then the explosion, the dust... Everyone rushed for the exits. I was helping the American woman bring Lady Westmacott to safety. They are waiting outside in the tunnel. One entrance is blocked by a fire, and the other one seems to have collapsed.
Continue to search the train. I'll decouple the buried freight car.
All right.
Doctor? Can you give me a few matches?
Oh, certainly.
Thanks. I'll meet you outside.
Do hurry.
I filled the bowl about a third of the way with rum. Phew, strong stuff. Just as I expected, the alcohol burns with an almost invisible flame. Carling Black Label, a British beer. Champagne, the finest. Maybe we'll open a bottle if we get out of the tunnel alive. Until then, though, it's no use to me. No good. Insufficient alcohol. For practical purposes, I mean, not for drinking. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. The Inspector's trap. Worse than that. To win a game of cat and mouse, you have to know who is the cat and who is the mouse. The chair either fell over thanks to the sudden stop, or an escaping passenger knocked it over. Warning to get off the train as quickly as possible after a sudden stop and a massive tremor. That's understandable. There's a noticeable draft here. Maybe it's because of the fire, or perhaps there's still a hole through which the air is coming. The latter will be quite welcome. It will buy us some more time. I noticed the extinguisher earlier. Doesn't match the decor. I suppose that the railway company had to comply with safety regulations at the cost of aesthetics. It's not bothering me. I'll leave it there. The chair either fell over thanks to the sudden stop, or an escaping passenger knocked it over. Warning to get off the train as quickly as possible after a sudden stop and a massive tremor. That's understandable. It'd be useless against the fire out there, and it's too cumbersome to carry around. At best, I can use it here. Let's go. I should concentrate on uncoupling the freight car. I doubt that will work. The curtain fabric doesn't burn easily. It's taking too long. Time is running out. I broke the leg off a beautiful... The flame is certainly bigger and hotter than a match, but even so, the curtain would probably just smolder. That should do it. Can't really say the fabric was eager to soak up the rum. I, on the other hand, soaked up enough in my fingers to smell like a drunk. Alcohol on the curtain burns just as darkly as in the bowl. It's no help. can feel cold metal and a screw thread, and a lot of grease, but I can't do more without light. Okay, I'll smear some grease on the curtain. I'm the god of... That's better now. Incredibly basic mechanism, the kind that lasts forever. Won't budge. Too much tension on the coupling. A lever on a pressure sleeve running along a thread. Aha! I can uncouple it with this lever. Okay. There we go. Time to get out of here.
Listen, everybody! Listen! Robert, what's the situation?
Yeah, I couldn't find the engineer, so I got in the driver's cab myself and released the brake.
All right. Good job. You too. Listen, please.
Matty! Where's Matt? Where's my son?
Relax, madame. I'm sure...
Help! Matty! No!
Matt, where are you? Oh. Jumping off is not an option. We're going much too fast. Hey. There you are. What were you thinking? Come out of there.
Is he gone?
Is who gone?
The man!
What are you doing on the train anyway? Why didn't you wait in the tunnel with the other passengers?
I wanted to get my pistol.
Your pistol?
There's so many cops and thieves and explosions and everything, then I need a pistol too.
Makes sense. Well, what about this man?
There was a man. He was coughing.
One of the passengers?
I think he came down from the roof.
All right. First, I'll stop the train, and then we'll have a chat, okay? You want to come out? Good idea. You stay put. Hold tight, Matt. That makes things extremely complicated. The emergency brake either was damaged in the explosion or was sabotaged. But whatever, it's not working. I think I should try to uncouple the locomotive. I mean, how else can I stop the train? I can't get in. I presume the Baroness's luggage toppled over and is blocking the door. The tanks don't seem to be damaged. The water is still running. A large, soft towel. Very comfortable. I'll wrap it around my neck to keep my hands free. It's soaking up the cold water. If the emergency brake doesn't work, I'll have to try something else. Here goes. Ouch! Hot! Locked. An axe is for emergencies. If this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is. Okay, we'll do it the hard way. It looks just like the one on the freight car. That means that first I have to turn that thing there. That keeps it under tension. It's not working. Even if I could reach the lever with my hands, I wouldn't have the strength to move it. Hardly be worse. That should do the trick. The coupling won't release because it's under too much tension. The engine is pulling the cars and its full force is acting on the coupling. It's just a hook, but it won't budge like that. That's not just smoke. I can actually taste lumps of ash. It's time for my deputy sheriff's story. I uncoupled the locomotive at full speed. Not bad, eh?
Do you think we'll get in trouble?
Because of the locomotive? I don't think so. It was pretty old already. Come out so we can have a chat. I checked the entire train. There's no one on it except for us. What an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, what did you see on the train?
Well, it was like this. I wanted to get my pistol. Achoo!
And then?
When the guy was gone, I got up and banged on the window. I wanted to get out of there, but then I thought, what if the guy can hear me from the next car? So I got scared, and I hid again.
You did well. Are you sure it was a man?
Yeah, very sure. What else could he be?
A woman?
No. Girls can't be thieves. Girls are always honest.
If only you knew. Did you recognize the man? Have you met him before?
I don't think so.
Would you recognize him if you saw him again?
No. It was very dark and I was hiding.
Was he a tall man or a short man?
Just a man. I think he was a bad man.
Why do you think that?
He was sneaking around, even though everybody else was outside in the tunnel.
Maybe he just wanted to get his wooden pistol.
Oh, man.
The envelope that the man lost, where is it?
I thought it might be important.
I think we should have a look. Some cash. An Italian passport. Blank. Very interesting. And here, a ticket for
the cruise!
What?
The tickets we have for the big ship from Venice to Cairo look exactly the same.
Interesting. May I keep it?
What do you want to do with it?
Take a vacation.
It's evidence.
And my chance to go with you.
The ticket and everything else in the envelope are part of my investigation. And you have no part to play in Cairo.
If I hadn't given you the envelope, you'd have no proof that the Raven's heir would be on the ship.
The ship is his next chance to steal the eye, and he won't give up until he has it.
And that's precisely why you should let me come along.
No.
I deserve to come along.
What you did was extraordinary. Far more than anyone could have a right to expect from you.
And you still want to leave me behind?
You met our foe and barely escaped with your life. You may not be that lucky next time.
It wasn't luck.
You can return to Switzerland with your head held high. Enjoy your triumph.
I have not achieved anything yet. The fiend tried to kill us, and he's still at large. What else did you find out in the tunnel?
Not much. After we came out of the tunnel, Robert and I questioned the passengers.
Which didn't turn up anything new.
No. The engineer and the fireman were missing. They were found a few kilometers back on the track. Both claim to have been overwhelmed by a shadow and thrown off the train.
But you don't believe that.
I'm checking their stories. One of them may have been paid to eliminate the other one.
How could the Raven's heir have found out about the trap? How was he able to put the dynamite in the box and place the letter?
The dynamite was probably already in the box when I put it in the safe. I didn't check it.
You had no reason to do so.
It wasn't my only mistake. I knew someone was on the roof of the freight car, but I let myself be distracted by that damned letter.
How did you know?
Too late. I should have reacted instantly.
I'm coming with you. Full stop.
The thief was able to place 10 sticks of dynamite in a cash box right under my nose. For all we know, you could already be sitting on the next bomb. You cannot come.
But, Inspector...
We're here.
Inspector Legrand, an urgent telegram from Paris.
Bad news?
It's about the unfortunate events on the train. I'm to return to Paris and explain myself.
But sir, what about the eye?
They want to inform the Egyptian authorities that there might be a burglary attempt.
Might?
Egyptian authorities? What if the jewel is stolen at sea?
I know. I never received it. Keep a close watch on the loading of the eye, Robert.
Aye, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you, Constable Zerner.
What is the constable's problem with me?
I think he's jealous. Scotland Yard assigned him to assist me, just as you were sent by the Swiss authorities.
With the distinction that he may go to Egypt.
Robert is to accompany me at all times. Your mission was restricted to Switzerland.
At this moment, I want to be sent back to Switzerland just as much as you want to be sent back to Paris.
I know, but I'm walking on thin ice, and I can't carry you too.
And the second eye is in that safe?
Yes, an emerald. It's been kept in a bank in Zurich since the start of the war. I personally took it out of the bank vault, and Professor Lucien certified that it was the real thing.
And while a fake jewel was sent by train,
the real one was brought here in an armored car.
How is it protected?
You can only open the safe if you have 3 special keys. Professor Lucien has one, and Baroness von Trebitz, who's paying for all this, has the second. The third was sent by air courier to Dr. Abbas Mokhtar, the director of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
So, not even you could possibly open the safe before it arrives in Egypt.
That's correct. We don't want to make it too easy for potential thieves.
Commendable. I hope you're aware of the fact that you're risking your career.
Indeed I am.
Why do you care so much about this case? Someone pretends to be the Raven, and you promptly risk your career?
What if he's not just pretending?
What do you mean by that?
It's his handwriting. And there's only one person who ever called me Nico. Have you ever considered the possibility that I shot the wrong man?
But what do you mean by that?
Let us assume just for a moment that the person I shot and who fell from the roof was not the Raven. Who would have cared enough to uncover the truth? The chief of police, the politicians? No. They wanted to revel in a successful manhunt, and it was the best thing that could have happened to the Raven. The search for him was over. He had no reason to fear me anymore. I had so many medals afterwards that he could hear them jingling kilometers away.
And now he's back? And you're the only one who can stop him? Does that sound probable to you?
The feathers, the letters, Nico. No one outside the police force knew that the Raven used to call me that in his letters.
Policemen gossip, and there are plenty of forgers. You can't seriously intend to stake your reputation on such weak evidence.
My reputation rests on something that I probably did not do. I have to find out who's behind all this.
Let's review. One of the two most valuable jewels in the world was stolen. Obviously, the second one will be next, and you suspect a legendary burglar who's been dead for 5 years.
Go on.
The second jewel is about to be put on board over there, in a safe that requires 3 keys. Our thief may already have the first key, the archaeologist's key, from the train. We don't know anything about the status of the second key, which was meant to be air freighted to Cairo.
We have to assume that he already has it.
Therefore, there's just one key left. The Baroness's.
Correct.
So, you'll need my eyes on board.
Look, you can keep your eyes open for me here on the wharf. I'd be most grateful. But when this ship sets sail, you will not, I repeat, not be on board.
But, Inspector...
We're dealing with a dangerous man, and I will pursue him regardless of the consequences. I won't let you get mixed up in this affair.
It's still my decision.
No, it's not. It's mine, and I've already made it. Good day, Constable Zellner.
Bueno, pues hasta aquí. Gracias por ver el vídeo.